Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the bounty hunter Samus Aran. Her ongoing mission? To explore new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, and kick some serious ass. Alright, I wasn't exactly planning on starting this little thing with a Star Trek reference, but the first 5 drafts of the script had absolutely atrocious openings, and this was the best I had. Deadlines! Anyways, Metroid Dread is finally upon us, and I couldn't be more excited. I mean, as a self-professed sci-fi nut, why wouldn't I be? So, when I heard about this little collab project my friend Renegade had in the works, I jumped on that harder than Mario stomps on Goombas. The only hard part was picking a topic, so after staring at my video game collection for hours on end, the idea finally came to me. You see, sci-fi media tends to pick one or two aspects to primarily focus on depending on the tone of the work. Either it's space is wondrous and full of adventure, or space is absolutely fucking terrifying. Granted, this doesn't stop more pessimistic works having more idealistic moments and vice versa, but that's not really important right now. Metroid mainly focuses more on the adventure side of sci-fi, but that doesn't stop it from having its darker and more disturbing moments. Dark Samus and Phazon, Fantoon, Samus's backstory where she saw Ridley kill her parents, and pretty much the entirety of Metroid Fusion, but we're not talking about that one today. Instead, I'd like to touch upon a somewhat overlooked game in the Metroid series, that being Prime 3, and my favourite area in the whole game, the GFS Valhalla. Now, you're definitely familiar with the classic trope. Starship goes missing, later turns up as a floating wreck drifting through space, characters board the ship to find out what happened, only to find way more than they bargained for, and of course the GFS Valhalla is a fine example of the trope, even if it has a weird way of going about it. Yes, you can go to the ship pretty early on in Prime 3, but if you decide to do that, you'll be making tons of return trips. The best way to experience this area is to collect as many energy cells as possible, making sure you have at least 8 of them, allowing you to explore the whole ship in one go. Before you even arrive, you're told just why the ship is like this, in that it was attacked by space pirates, but something seems off. Not only did they leave several valuable items behind that are normally taken in similar raids, I mean, they're pirates, stealing stuff is kinda what they do, but the ship was attacked with a level of sheer brutality that had never really been seen before. So, whatever the pirates were doing here, you just know it can't be good. From the moment you arrive, you see the utter devastation the pirates caused. The ship is pretty much snapped in half, the place Samus lands her gunship is exposed to the vacuum of space, debris from both the ship and space fighters everywhere, hardly anything has power, and it just gets worse the further you go. Every room you enter seems to display a new scene of, well, carnage. More and more debris fill the rooms, dead bodies of Federation troopers and space pirates are everywhere, some of which have been reduced to brittle husks, frozen in their agonizing final moments, with some of these having to be destroyed in order to progress. Making matters worse is the only living things you'll find on board are Phazon enemies, disgusting monstrosities mutated by the mysterious glowing blue poison, up to and including the dangerous Phazon Metroids. Rounding off the whole experience is how the game uses the echoing footsteps of Samus, the dreary and foreboding music, and the ambient background noise of creaking metal, and having the ship shake at certain points to create one hell of an unsettling atmosphere when exploring, meaning that no matter where you go, you never truly feel safe on board the ship, and this feeling of dread and unease is only enhanced by the first-person perspective. This almost doesn't feel like Metroid anymore, belonging more at home in something like Alien or Dead Space. It's like you've stepped into a different game entirely, and, well, that's the brilliant part. Yeah, you know that you're in control of quite possibly the deadliest woman in the galaxy, but that doesn't exactly help the feeling of intense vulnerability you have. I personally kept turning around, checking every corner of the room I was in with every little ambient noise I heard, just to make sure that I was truly alone at that moment. It's an insane tonal shift, turning the game into straight-up horror for about 30 minutes, and that's why I love it so much. The GFS Valhalla is one of, if not the scariest area in all of Metroid, and the further you go just adds more to the mystery and raises more and more questions. What were the pirates doing here? What did they take? What are they planning? And just what the hell happened here to leave the ship like this? While we do get answers for most of these later on in the game, we never truly learn just what happened on the Valhalla to turn it from a spaceship into, well, a mass grave. Even the little bits of information you can obtain by using the scan visor doesn't help, giving you just enough to make your mind work to fill in the blanks, imagining the panic and fear of the space pirate attack, and the pain the ship's occupants had when they all died in the grisly ways that you'll think of. And that is precisely why this type of level design, why this level is one of the best examples of the brilliant atmospheric storytelling of the Prime trilogy. After all, the truly scary parts aren't what the game shows you, it's what it doesn't. Just think about what's lurking out there in the shadows, just out of reach. You're not aware of them, but they are definitely aware of you. Sweet dreams.